Craig, a thoroughly professional performance today, and you're now only 9 points from the title.
Yeah, well, you know, what do you say about that? You know, we're talking, we're still in February. You know, it's, I think the standards of today's performance were fantastic. You know, we played really well first half last week. Could have been 4 or 5-0 up, should have been 2 or 3 up. And, you know, after having a good performance yet today, last week was probably a good point after having Paul sent off and obviously Mully saving the penalty.
In the first half, obviously you were 3-0 up at the break, but there wasn't sort of, you know, a mountain of chances. You were just very clinical, and that must have been something that pleased yourself on a heavy pitch like it was today. Yeah,
it was. As critical as I was last week about our finishing, we were as good this week as what we were bad last week. So, you know, it's great the lads took on board. You know, it's a great finish from Sis. The first goal, fantastic, right across the goalkeeper. Wiley scored a couple of good goals, you know, and it was, you know, like you said, we had maybe 1 or 2 other chances apart from that. We're really sure must be up there 80-90% conversion rate.
And in testing conditions today, obviously it was windy, the wind was swirling, it was a tough pitch. Reminded me a lot of the Prestatyn game, you know, at the start of 2015, but you seem to deal a lot better with the conditions in the first half.
The pitch was a lot better than what Prestatyn was, and let's not get that. The pitch is a lot better here than what Prestatyn is, and I thought we varied, we played very well. When we could pass, we passed. When we had to be squeezed and we couldn't pass, we had good runners from midfield, Aaron Edwards, Jimmy Mullen, Sis, all made good forward runs and stretched the game, and we had a base to come from with Wiley. So, you know, we played very well today.
And obviously we've been speaking in the week, obviously the president, Michael Spider Hughes, passed away in the week. I'm sure the lads in that dressing room will be dedicating that terrific performance to him today.
Yeah, definitely. It was really sad news. You know, Spider's probably been ill for 6 or 7 weeks. It wasn't a long illness, but, you know, we didn't see this coming. You know, I know he'd been in hospital for a few weeks, but, you know, it's really sad, and obviously we want to pass all our condolences as a group to his family and friends, and, you know, everyone's devastated at the club, and, you know, he's a huge part of the club. I've only been here for 3 years, and, you know, he's been at this club since he was Lancing Fried, and, you know, like I say, we're desperately sad and desperately sorry for his family and friends.